How to use Notion for beginners. Today I'm going to show you how to use Notion for beginners. Make sure to watch until the end so you don't make any mistakes. Notion is a powerful and flexible productivity tool that can be used for note-taking, project management, and so much more. So if you've heard of Notion before but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so the very first step is to first log into your Notion account. If you don't have one already, you can easily create it with your email or Google account for free. When you first open Notion and when you log into your account, you'll be greeted with this homepage over here. Let me now show you how you can quickly get off the ground without spending weeks setting up your first Notion page. So first things first, we're going to click on this button over here, which is create a new page. And let's start by giving this a title. So I'll call this page My Dashboard. So now I'll kind of customize this and add some fun elements. So I am clicking on Add Icon. This will add a random emoji. Then you can come here, add an emoji of your liking or an icon. You also have the option to paste a link to an image that you want to use, or you can also upload from your own desktop as well. So for the sake of this example, I'll just select one of the available emojis over here. So I'm going to select the sunflower, and I will continue to customize this by simply clicking on Add Cover over here. So for the covers, again, it will give you a random one by default, but you're going to go to change cover over here and you have multiple options. So there are already available graphics you can choose from, or you have the option to, again, upload it from your own computer. You can give a link from any type of image from the web, or you can use Unsplash. So for the sake of this example, I am going to be using something from the Notion's gallery. So this one, I like it very much, so I'll keep it as this. And now when you click on the Notion page, so when you eventually create a new page, you'll see these two icons. So the plus icon and these little dots over here. So a plus sign is basically used for adding blocks like text, databases, images, headings, tables, and the three dots for additional options like deleting or duplicating blocks, or kind of like moving around the blocks as well. So once we have more text over here, I'm also going to show you how you can move them around. So let's start by adding a quote for inspiration. So for quotes, I personally like to use call out blocks. So you can add a new block simply by clicking on the plus icon and finding call out over here. Or you can also add a block simply by typing in / call out, and it will be this box over here. Another thing you can do is use the quote property already available in Notion. So to show you that, you're gonna have this option for quote. So when you click on that, you will have this line over here, and then here you can basically just write down your quote. But as I said, I like the box over here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this one. I'll now add in a random quote. Again, you have the option to add certain icons to this and further customize it. Also, when you highlight the text, you will have this editor bar over here. You can now make this bold, make this italic, and customize it in any way that you want. Now, before we go further, let's adjust the text size and the page width. So to do that, I am going to go on top of my page in the top right corner. I'll see those three dots. I'm going to click on that, and now I'm just going to click on the toggle over here and activate small text, and I'll also do the same thing for making my page full width. This is totally optional, but I do like to select small text and full width to make the most out of my space, but you can also skip this part if you don't want to do it. So now let's move on and create a database. So I'm just going to type in / gallery view, and I'm going to click on this database over here. As you can see now, this is untitled. I'm gonna name this to my notebook. So my notebook gallery view is literally where you can keep different type of notes or collections. For example, I personally like to have sections for my fitness goals, recipes, like book lists, goals, my wish list, so on and so forth. So I am now gonna kind of rename this. So I'm just going on edit, and now I'm gonna delete page 1, and I'm just gonna call it fitness goals. Then I'll continue to add a couple of more items over here, and let me add one final block for my wish list as well. So now to make this more visually appealing, I will add an image. But before I add the image, I'm going to come to the gallery view section over here. I'm going to click on the plus icon, and now I'll scroll down just a tiny bit. And now I am going to add 2 columns of blocks over here. So now what will happen is basically when I add my image, now I will have the ability to kind of like place them side by side. Otherwise, I won't be able to do that. So let me also show you one thing that a lot of people who uses Notion like to do. So I'm going to go to my saved pin, and from here, I am going to be selecting an image that I can use. So I'm just going to come here, and then I'm going to say copy image, go back to Notion, and here I'm just going to kind of paste my link, and now I can adjust the size of this. So I'm now making this kind of, I am going to move it to this side like that. And you also will see this kind of line in the middle. And when you pull it to the left, you can also kind of like organize how your view looks like. I feel like the view is too big for my needs, so I'm gonna go to gallery view, and here I'm going to click on the 3 dots. Now I'm going to layout, and here I am going to click on card size, and I will select small. So now I'm going to come over here and create a navigation section. So now I'm coming here, adding a slash, and let's do H2. It's a medium size heading. And now I'm going to call this navigation. So I am going to add a background color to this just to spice things up. So I'm going with this pink one over here. So now I'm going to come here and I'll be adding some sub pages for different areas of my life, like my work. If you're going to school, you can add school, finances, habits, so on and so forth. So again, you have 2 options. You can click on the plus icon, and here you can click on page. So this will create a new page, and now you can, for example, name this to work. I will not be going in depth in terms of how you can customize these pages, but this is just to show you how this works in general. So the second option to add a page is, again, do a slash, and then you're gonna say page. Click on this, and then let's name this one school. So I'll continue to add a couple of more examples, and I'll be back. Another option to do this would be to just like continue to write your subheadings, and for example, I'll add like travel, idea, and when you bulk select the ones that are not yet a page and right click on it, you're going to see this option to turn into page in, and when you select my dashboard, they will now be automatically turned into pages. So if you don't want to create pages one by one, you can also do that very easily with this method. So having this navigation section will really help you stay organized within your dashboard. And another thing that you can do is to add a bit more visuals to your subcategories. So when you click on the page icon over here, you can add an emoji or an icon. So let me quickly add certain icons to spice things up. Okay, so another common use case of Notion is to create to-do lists and to track those. So let's go ahead and add a weekly to-do section to track our weekly tasks. So first, I'll create a heading for each day of the week. But before I do that, let me just say weekly to do. And now I am gonna click on these three dots over here, and then I'm gonna say turn into, and then I'm gonna say heading to, like that. So now I am again gonna add a background color to it. So I'm going to color, and from here I am gonna be choosing blue. I'm now gonna move this over here so the line is kind of bigger. And another thing you can do if you don't want to add this like background color is to go to plus, and you can add a divider like that. So I am gonna erase this for now, but that's also another option you have. And now I'm gonna continue on by adding our days of the week. So starting by Monday, I am just gonna do slash heading, and I'm gonna do heading like that. I'm gonna say Monday. I am selecting the text, going to over here, and then I am gonna select green as my background. If you want, you of course also can change this to a bigger heading. And here I am just gonna add a little emoji. I'm gonna use this thought balloon over here, and then I'm just gonna say reminders. And you can also add an event section on top like that. So I'm just gonna say events, and let me also add an emoji at the beginning. Now I am gonna skip a line, and over here I am gonna add a to-do list. So this would be literally like to do. So I think I'll go with this kind of long line, like highlight. So if you select deep text and then go to background and add a color, you will only have the highlight for the word that you selected or the sentence that you selected. But if you click on the three dots and then go to color and then select a background, then you will have the entire line kind of underlined, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna go with pink, and there we go. So now I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to make them bold. So now I am going to select all this, and I'm going to do a right click, and then I'm going to click on duplicate so it will appear over here. Now I am going to click on this plus icon just underneath weekly to do, and from here I am going to be selecting create 4 columns block. I'm going to be selecting my Monday section, move it over here. Then do the same thing for this one over there, like that. And again, you always have the option to kind of like play around with it. I think I'm gonna have 4, so I'll continue to do the same thing until I have all the days of the week. So I'm continuing to doing the same thing. I am moving it over here. And now that I have 7, I will now kind of move them to the first line. I think I'll have 4 for each line, selecting them and putting it side by side. Now I'm making kind of further adjustments to it, but of course the layout is completely depending on how you want to do this. So once you have the 7 days covered, you're going to come here and you're going to rename them. Okay, so now that our weekly to-do list is ready, at the beginning of the week, you can come here and adjust the to-do list, reminders, and events accordingly. Now, last but not least, let's add a calendar to keep track of our events. So Notion has a built-in calendar view, and to add that, we're going to click on the plus sign again. We're going to find calendar. And from here, we're gonna add a calendar view. So we're gonna click on this. And now we have our new database. You can simply come here and name this calendar or schedule, whatever works best. So now when you go to, for example, let's say today, you can hover your mouse over to the top left corner and click on this plus icon to add a note basically, or a reminder. So let's say call mom, and when you kind of click outside of this pop-up, you're gonna see it over here. And that's it. You've now set up a basic Notion page with a dashboard, notebook, navigation, weekly to-do list, and a calendar.